So we come to the 33rd move of the whole 35 sequence we're doing. Again, stuck 3 forms together, the 8 brocades at the beginning, which is 8 moves, and the 18 form qigong sequence, and then this 9 form sequence. So again, that's 35 moves all in all. Put them all together, and we put the Pilates setup with them, and yogic and hypnotic setup within the breath. So basically, we're not going the traditional path, as in breathing into our bellies like a balloon. We're doing the opposite. Okay, the move is the 7th move of the last form, which I've added on 3 forms together basically. Okay, and again, it's like the 7th move of that 9th. Again, don't worry about that. It's a 33rd move of the whole 35 sequence, 3 forms stuck together. I've done these so you can do them either singly, or I put sort of 35 in brackets. That's the number of how many moves in the form, and what number it is. This is 33 of the whole 35. So again, you can do these singly or in order, whatever you like. Okay, this one's called Separate the Clouds, and again, it's a nice one, like a lot of these qigong sequences or qigong sequences, depending on how you want to say it, where we're taking the moves from. They open out the chest and all the organs in the chest, which is always good, because we compress the area between the shoulders there, the chest, a lot, by bearing gravity a lot. And the way we live, we're overactive in these upper traps a lot. Different people to different degrees of that. And these get very sort of short, these muscles. So anything that opens out the chest is good. A nice sort of traditional yawning type, opening the chest. They're all linked to specific organs within the traditional forms. We're not doing the traditional forms, we're just taking the movement. But this will help the pericardium, the heart lining, the heart and lungs. That's the organ specifically linked with this move, okay, which we're taking and putting our Pilates, yogic and hypnotic setup with. So they're generally linked to electromagnetic even rivers, which we're not going into. I've gone into them specifically on other more traditional qigong videos. Okay, again, so let's just forget all that anyway. It's just movement at the end of the day, just movement. It's gonna be more spent on the breath. So zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals in the traditional Pilates way, okay? And as you do that, that's gonna naturally help you breathe into these lower lobes of lungs, anywhere but the stomach, unlike the traditional manner of qigong. Okay, so we're going to zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals, take your navels towards your spine right now. As you do that, you'll feel that breath coming low and deep to these lower lobes of lungs, your intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. If you want to check that and make sure, then you get the 2 middle fingers touching underneath the xiphoid process, the sternum, okay, the breastbone there, palms on the lower lobes of lungs. And as you keep on zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out your abdominals, and feel that breath coming in low and deep to them lower lobes of lungs, you'll feel this happening, this sort of motion within the middle fingers, slightly parting and coming back to touch each other, okay? So you can either keep them there or just let the hands down, being safe in the knowledge that breath is going into them lower lobes of lungs, intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach, because there's nowhere else for the breath to go. Okay, so it has to go into these lower lobes of lungs, intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. So as we be more specific with that now, we're going to breathe in through the nose and exhale through pursed lips. So you're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals with that lovely 3D breath. Just coming organ deep, cell deep, even bone marrow deep into them lower lobes of lungs. So someone's opening an umbrella inside your rib cage and letting go, or someone's just pushing out from inside your ribs and letting go. Just adding width to the lungs as you breathe in, and length to the out breath as you exhale, as if you're blowing out a candle through pursed lips. That's what we call lateral thoracic breathing in Pilates. That helps us use the pelvic floor and the corset muscle, the powerhouse, the girdle of strength, 3 layers deep, just all segmentally stabilising our spine. What's called the transverse abdominis, that corset muscle, by helping us breathe anywhere but the belly button, helping us breathe 3D style into these fish gills, breathing in through the nose, follow the journey all the way in, and exhale through pursed lips and follow that journey all the way out. Now again, we're going to close the mouth and go a little bit down the yogic path, breathing in and out through the nose, but still zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out your abdominals, taking the navel towards the spine. And as you breathe in and out through the nose now, that'll lengthen the whole will cycle of the breath. Okay. Through that smaller filter through the nose, you'll feel that whole will cycle lengthen. Again, more sort of yogic, filtering, cleansing breath. More yogic, down that yogic path there. Now again, as you still zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, as you're doing that, you'll feel naturally your exhale, your out breath, will want to fall longer than the inhale. So just simply allow that to happen. And then rather than the breath breathe you, you're going to breathe the breath. You're going to take your mind consciously to that out breath and consciously elongate the out breath. Quadruple it, double it, triple it, whatever you like, the out breath. Just make it longer than the in breath. Okay. Bit more sort of down the hypnotic path there. Bit like 7-11 breathing from hypnotherapy. But just make the out breath longer than the in breath within your limits. Okay. And again, that's going to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system as you do that right now, by elongating the out breath longer than the in breath and allowing that simplicity to relax the mind. All the things you don't think about, the parasympathetic nervous system, responses, sleep, digestion, rest, and relaxation will be benefited by simply elongating the out breath longer than the in breath. Cellular communication, all being benefited, organ function, that health, well-being and renewal, all being benefited by elongating the out breath longer than the in breath, encouraging them restful relaxation responses and endless streams of comfort. Now again, as you keep on breathing out through the nose and elongating the out breath longer than the in breath, that's perfectly more than adequate for the breathing we're going to do. Now, if you want to make it a little bit more advanced, optional. Okay, totally optional. We go to Ujjayi breath and add that on. If you can't get this, don't worry. Just carry on breathing in to them lower lobes of the lungs as you are now, for that smaller filter through the nose. Now, if you want to take this on to Ujjayi breath, all you do is grip at your esophagus. You narrow the esophagus and make this sighing, whistling, silky, raspy breath from the back of the throat. It's like a... Keep these shoulders down, so when I come up, and then we're going to exhale. It's like going when the mouth's shut. It's like a sighing, whistling, silky breath that you'll do when you concentrate. When you sort of like want to do a fine motor skill, you make that sighing breath. But we're overemphasizing that silky, whistling, raspy sound. Ujjayi breath, victorious breath in Sanskrit. Breathing for the nose and exhaling through the nose. As you get that Ujjayi breath, if you can't get that, don't worry. Just carry on doing the breath we've been doing. Okay. Again, Ujjayi breath gives something even more for the mind to focus on and hear. Okay, so it's focusing breath, more focusing breath. No matter what you're doing, Ujjayi breath or not, just be aware of the sound of the breath, the feel of the breath as it weaves that tapestry of relaxation and every single organ, cell, sinew of the body at will. Lovely. Ujjayi breath helps us build the heat and fan the fire to burn all the toxins in the body. Seashore breathing. Okay. It would help stimulate the thyroid gland, which helps with weight control, etc. Helps us build the heat in the body, Helps us fan the fire, burn all the toxins in the body. But again, if you can't get that, don't worry. Just carry on zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals. Breathing in out through the nose. And with no effort, just elongate the out breath longer than the in breath. Or do that ujjayi breath. Now again, we're going to calibrate and synchronize that and integrate that with the movement in what we call vinyasa. Breath synchronized movement in yoga, in Sanskrit. Breath synchronized motion. So again, it's a nice simple motion, so I'll go back and demonstrate that. But again, with the motion with the exhale, we're going to elongate the exhale for as long as you like. So from there, you're going to empty one leg, fill up the next. Okay, so as you do that, I'm just going to come close here. So what we're going to do, basically from big toe to little toe, you're going to lengthen out. So if you've got a tripod from big toe to little toe to the center of your heel, rooting your foot in towards the floor as you empty the other leg. So I'm going to demonstrate this now. So from here, we're just going to open up the chest and push away the wall, Samson style. For that, stretch your little pinkies, but it's going to be 2 arms, 1 leg. So it's breathe in and exhale for as long as you like. Make that long, that exhale. If you need to touch down, just do a cat stance. Touch down with a toe and then the heel. Then breathe in sharp on the way up, but make this out breath longer. Again, exhale for as long as you like on this motion coming down, descending down. So as you ascend up, breathe in sharp. Only as high with a leg as you like. You can go this high or lower, optional. Okay, and exhale for as long as you like. Allow the shoulders to melt in towards the body. Empty one leg, fill up the next. Breathing coming up sharper. Exhaling down. If you can't go that high, minimize the height. Okay, otherwise just leave one foot on the floor. If you really can't balance, zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals. Breathe in sharper and exhale down. Then empty the other leg. Be a centimetre or a millimetre or a foot off the floor. As you empty one leg, fill up the next. Again, it's a nice simple motion. I'm going more into the breath. You're breathing in sharper and exhaling, descending down, elongating the out breath for as long as you like. Empty one leg, fill up the next. Like I said, exploit the speed and tempo. Slow as hard, as fast as easier. If you need to touch down with that foot on the toe and then the heel down while the elongated exhale is going out, then do that. But again, allow the shoulders to drop in to their own natural position. So you've got a trickle of water just running down the spine and dispersing. Mounting the shoulders over hips, head over shoulders. Empty one leg, breathing in sharper up, exhaling down. So we elongate the exhale for as long as you like. Remember, exploit the range, speed and tempo. Slow as hard, as fast as easier, especially on the descending part as we're coming back down and feeling that soft cushion of the earth with that foot. Two arms, one leg. Separate the clouds. It's like a sort of yawn in the morning. That first yawn in the morning, as you open out the chest, all the organs in the chest, that lovely yawn in the morning. This will put the shoulders in the right position. Okay, helps that lovely soft V between the shoulder blades. Lovely. So exploit that range, speed and tempo. A millimetre, a centimetre or a foot off the floor with that foot. Lovely. But find your speed and tempo. Remember, it's your union of your mind and body. So you make it as easy or as hard as you like with the modifications and the speed and the tempo and the range. Lovely. Bring it down to heavens next. Bang.